What is happening, good people? We are here to record Macro Dirt Podcast number 43. I've got my man Jared Brillohead Dillian on the line. JD, what's up?
What's up, chicken lips?
How you doing, brother?
Good.
Yeah, these markets are insane. Go ahead, throw the Zin in and let's throw down
Yep.
because there's shit going on today. We're going right into the markets. We'll go off markets later on. Where do you want to start, JD?
So about a hour ago, we got some news that I guess we're going to be negotiating with China on tariffs. They're going to get the tariff rate down to like 50 or 60% or something like that. Dude, it was crazy because I was writing my dirt nap for tomorrow. And I literally wrote the sentence, "We are going to negotiate with China on tariffs." Then the zero hedge tweet comes up and stocks rip and bonds rip and the dollar rips. And I'm like, dude, it's so here's what's going on, right? We had the capital flight trade where people were coming out of stocks, bonds, and the dollar, right? That got very consensus. You had a bunch of knuckleheads piling into that idea. That got to be a very crowded idea. So now we're going to have a bounce in U.S. assets, stocks, bonds, and the dollar. And it's going to last a while. It is going to be a big bounce, right? Big bounce in the dollar. So
I agree with you, and I feel like what's leading the charge on this re-risking that is obviously just begun is Bitcoin. Right.
yes.
I'm blown away by Bitcoin right now, and I'm so bullish I can't see straight. I mean, the thing skipped from its 50-day moving average at 84K through its 100-day moving, through its 200-day to its 100-day moving average at 90K, blasted through that, and we're at like 93K bid last. Like, this is a real serious breakout. Like, that thing held way better than I thought it would have.
Dude,
So
the S&P is going to like 5,800 in short order.
I think that could happen as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, put it this way. You know what I love about this, JD? The first of all, start with how bearish was everybody on Monday, right? We came on Monday morning and we just rolled the S&P from bell to bell.
Yep.
And this is the danger of 30 vol, and this is the danger of getting bearish at the bottom in bear markets. Because as you see, we went from barreled over on Monday, we had turnaround Tuesday, and now Wednesday you've got Scott Percent patching everything up, and everybody's sales from the first half of the week are underwater.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Is that a VIX melting bomb?
By the way, that Monday, the price action on Monday was fucking weird.
Oh,
It was weird. Dude, we were down 3% on no volume. It was quiet. It was quiet. It was weird.
is there a possibility that there was some kind of a liquidation that was tied to either totally conspiratorial, I know, either the Pope dying or Klaus Schwab resigning from the World Economic,
I
Forum?
think there was a liquidation going on, but I don't think it was either of those two things.
That's fair. It could have
So,
been totally coincidental, but to me, in my
yeah.
mind, when like these narratives are flashing across the screen and the tape is curling over, I'm like, did they just stop out Klaus Schwab on his entire like portfolio? So alongside this, what else did we have going on in that peak panic Monday morning into Tuesday morning, JD? I know you know. Gold 3,500 bid. Every gold bug on the planet, hands in pockets, watching the gold price going, oh my God, it's about to double. And then what happened?
So I know where you're going with this. I mean, gold shit the bed today, but look, there's actually a silver lining in this.
Go ahead. What?
Silver is up 3% when gold is crashing.
Bro. Silver, gold is crashing from its all-time highs. Silver is getting out of the middle of the range and trying to make it towards the top of the range. It's a base metal and it's not performing.
Correlated. They're usually correlated.
Yeah, but these guys, they kind of decouple to me. I mean, silver still, I don't chase the silver trade. I don't chase the naked short idea. The thing fucking lags and it trades like a base metal. So that's how I treat it. Gold, however, was so textbook. You wake up Tuesday morning to gold trading 3,500 and there are 32,000 tweets on Twitter with the hashtag gold.
Yeah.
I mean, and not to mention the fact that if you've traded gold for a long time, you know that it doesn't ever trade like Bitcoin. it gets to certain levels above its 200-day moving average, and then it just can't explode anymore. And we're at this point where now it's almost, or excuse me, at 3,500. We're not there anymore. We're at 32.75 last and sucking wind. But at 3,500, we were 70% above the 200-day moving average. That's happened like 4 times in the last 2 decades. And each time gold has backed off right to the moving averages since then. I'm not going to say it hasn't resumed trend, but I'll say this is a sale and nobody in gold makes sales. That's my opinion. It's going lower. You are going to get a chance to buy gold in the moving averages from 3K down to 2,800. So be patient.
Yep.
Exactly. What do we think of, well, stocks? We nailed it. Stocks, in my opinion, JD, we've got to get through, this moving average quagmire so the moving average quagmire is, like you said, from 5,700 to 5,800.
Giggity.
That would be an amazing bear market rally because it still fails on the charts at that level.
Yep.
And so that could be the thing where if we'll know more then. That's one of the things where you kind of sit on your hands while it's trading into those moving averages, because on a failure, you've got plenty of time to short it and go with that next leg lower, because it's going to come. If we fail, the beauty of it is, if you're a bull, is that if we just kind of keep tiptoeing through all those moving averages without too much of a fuss and the VIX keeps melting, we get above 58, 5,900, and this thing can start sailing again. And I'm talking about sailing, because now you'll have a scenario where everybody that sold stocks in the first 3 months of the year on the tariff scare is now underwater. And there's only one place to go. So we'll see. But I think that there's some assigned probability to that idea. Oil. Couple things to talk about. Couple headlines that are scaring the crap out of me, JD. We've got Kazakhstan saying, thanks for the OPEC output bars on us. We're going to worry about our country and sell all the oil we need. And then there's another headline out there that says several OPEC Plus members want the group to approve another accelerated output increase for the June meeting on May 5th. Or excuse me, for June at the meeting on May 5th. Excuse me.
Dude, speaking of Kazakhstan, did you see Borat when it came out?
Of course.
It was one of the funniest movies of all time.
Really. That guy deserves credit for creating that character. No, I love in-character shit like that. I love that. I love, like, who was Andy Kaufman's secret character?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, man. One of the best characters ever. I got to look it up. Like not Tony Hinchcliffe. I keep saying the original, that comedian. But we'll come back to that. Where were we off to, JD? What were we talking about?
We're talking about oil.
Oh, yeah, oil. So with those two headlines out there, we've got oil at about $62. It's right at the bottom of the old range with that kind of spike bottom down to 58 in between there. What do you think? Any trade here at all? Anything in oil or the stocks, JD?
Dude, over the last 12 months, I have probably taken 3 shots on oil to the upside, and I've gotten burned every time, and I'm not doing it again.
There it is. The trader's creed right there. Doesn't matter if I'm right. I've already emptied the barrel.
I've already used up all my emotional capital on it.
Yeah, exactly. That chamber is empty, right? I get that. Yeah. I totally am in touch with that emotion. I've been there. But it's interesting. I'm just curious. I'm watching it. I'm trying to decide if it's going to go down $20 from here. I really am. And because I do think there's a chance that while the markets can get through the tariff conversation, I think that it's going to weigh on the economy in a couple of different ways. So before it makes things better. So we'll see. Where are you on the dollar index now, JD?
I'm bullish at the moment. I'm bullish for a month or two. Okay. I think we're in a bearish dollar regime. Look, the dollar sold off 10%. If you look on a real effective exchange rate basis, it's still expensive. On a purchasing power parity basis, the dollar is still rich. It has a long way to go down, but we are going to get a ginormous bounce, a huge bounce in the dollar, and I'm playing it. So
yeah, I like that. The thing that I'm worried about in kind of piling into a new Bitcoin long here, because I love the chart, and we're going to talk about that in 1 second. The thing that I'm afraid of is if there's a big retracement trade of dollar strength here, I don't think that will be particularly good for Bitcoin. I think that Bitcoin is kind of feasting on this dollar weakness theme. And as a new long, I'd kind of prefer that the dollar index kept going lower. But the thing I love about Bitcoin, JD, and I'm going to just pull this up because Braden's going to put the chart up for us right now. What I love about this chart is that we rally to 110 on inauguration day, make the all-time high, and we have a 38%, 38.2% Fibonacci retracement pullback to 72K at the lows. And that is a retracement of the move from like 20K all the way up to 110. So we pulled back, held the 38.250 and the triple top from 2024 at around 70K.
Yeah.
So for me, man, that hold was so crucial. And now back above the moving averages, I mean, this is the most typical TG macro chart in the drawer, in the tactical trading drawer, the resumption of trend chart. So we'll see what happens here. That's all I got on. Have we discussed everything? What do we think about yields, JD? I don't think we touched on yields. Where are you on the bond market right now?
Bonds are bouncing. Bonds are bouncing. You're going to get 30-year yields down to about 4.5. It's going to be a big bounce. Yeah, I mean, so actually, one of the things that happened was Trump came out and said, "No, I never intended to fire Powell," and bonds fucking ripped. Like they just totally ripped, and I think that's bullshit. I think Trump actually intended to fire Powell. But when he saw the market's reaction, he's like, look, I cannot shit on the market like any more than we already have, you know? Yeah. So I think Powell keeps his job for the short term. And that's bullish. That's bullish for bonds. So
yeah. And I don't give Trump credit for knowing anything. I have in my head, I have him having all these conversations with Scott Bessent. And he's going, oh, they're hitting the tariff. They're hitting the market again on the tariffs. That's Scott. And Scott just goes, you threatened to fire the Fed chairman, Donald. Maybe if you walk that back, on top of the tariff stuff, So I kind of always picture in my head Bessent informing the Donald on what's going on in the world. Are we ready to dive off markets, JD?
Yeah, man.
All right. Today is a historic day. It is the man in the arena speech anniversary. So that was Teddy Roosevelt's, quote, citizenship in a republic speech on April 23rd, 1910 in Paris. And this was after his presidency, right? He went around and gave speeches on the broader responsibility of being a citizen in a republic. And he really paid tribute to the most basic human concept, or basically, masculine concept there is. It's for the guy that never quits. It's the importance of celebrating those who strive and persevere and condemning those who mock without contributing. A quick quote, and then I'm going to ask your opinion. A quick quote from that speech. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause. Tell me about that speech, JD.
It means I don't really pay much attention to like Twitter or YouTube douchebag commenters. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I am the man in the arena. I'm taking risk, right? Like with blood and sweat and dust and all that stuff. And I got some dick nose burner account with like 9 followers who's like taking shots at me. There's another quote that I like to say: those who criticize the most contribute the least.
Yeah. Oh man.
For sure.
If that isn't true. And I mean, John Gordon, my friend, who is a author and kind of positive speaker, translated that into a character in one of his books. The criticizer is called the energy vampire. And you know what his advice for those people are? Get them right out of your life. Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you practice that, you will see that things get better when you remove energy vampires from your life.
Did you see the movie The Founder?
Did not. I don't.
You know what The Founder is about? Have you heard of this? The Founder is about Ray Kroc, who founded McDonald's.
Oh, Oh, right,
Yes.
right. Is it good? I got to shit out my
Oh,
shot.
it's one of my top 10. It's an incredible, it's probably the best business movie ever made.
Better than
Like,
American Gangster?
I didn't,
Better than The Godfather?
I think I did see American Gangster. Yes, it's better. It's better. So Ray Kroc is like building McDonald's. His wife is like Dr. No. She's like, you can't do this and you can't do that and whatever. So, he shit cans her and gets a new wife. She is like the worst villain in any movie like I have ever seen, just telling him all the time that he can't do these things.
Man.
Just a wet blanket.
Yeah. Yeah. And I tell you, man, that's really powerful. The difference between having a force like that in your life and not, or even more powerful, having the opposite force.
Yep.
Right. The difference between somebody that's in your life that's like, no, man, you got this. Like, you absolutely got this, because people don't realize you become your thoughts. Right. And what's amazing, here's another lesson that I've learned recently, is that, the negative thoughts creep into your head. Those are the ones where there's something negative talking to you. What you've got to do is get control and start talking to yourself, right? Tell yourself what you want to be happening. Tell yourself to visualize success, things like that. That to me is a big, big difference maker in your mindset. You know what else I wanted to mention, JD? Pretty cool about Teddy Roosevelt is that he built this house, Sagamore Hill, right? It was famous as his summer White House. It's about 10 miles away from my office here as the crow flies, on the north shore of Long Island in Oyster Bay. He built this 22-room Queen Anne style mansion in 1885 for $17,000 back then, which is roughly $600K today. That became his primary residence. He raised 6 kids there. He's got hunting trophies all over the place. What's pretty cool is that if you go into his library, it's one of the most awesome rooms that you've ever seen on a tour. And the tour guide may point out that Teddy was so meticulous that he had the predator trophies all had their mouths open, and the animals that were herbivores had their mouths closed, which I thought is a pretty cool background story. But that's a great place to go and take a tour. If you're ever in Long Island, you can go see where Teddy Roosevelt raised his family.
That's cool.
Really cool. Yeah. What else, JD? Is there anything else we need to throw in, off-market topics? Anything hot for you on top of mind, or should we close the podcast number 43?
No, I'm good with I'm good here. I think we got what we needed.
I think so too, man. We're both looking for stocks higher. I'm looking for lower gold into the moving averages. We both like Bitcoin. Let's revisit next week and see how we do. All right.
All right.
Hasta la vagina, everybody.
Hasta la vagina.